There we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Let It Be Known. I'm Darren Randall. Today we got Lamar and Dasani in with us, and we just went through one of the craziest or what is it? What's that? Monday night football games. We had the Chiefs versus the Raiders. The Chiefs were down 17-0. The Chiefs ended up coming back and winning the game 30-29. But going down towards the final wire, it was a crazy ending. You had Devontae Adams over two defenders, crazy ball that brings the Raiders back to 29-30. The Raiders had a chance to go for the PAT. Instead, they go for the 2-point conversion, which ends up being an incomplete, ends up being a fail. The Chiefs get the ball back. They get shut out. Raiders get the ball back. They have a chance to go back and win the game 29-30. They have a chance to go down the field, win the field goal. They're going down the field. Crazy, nice momentum. The ball's moving. Everything's looking smoothly for the Raiders. It goes down to a third down. They hit it to Devontae Adams on the right. It's a juggly ball. The Raiders, at first they call it a complete pass. It goes under review, call it incomplete. 1 foot out of bounds. The ball was bobbling. The Raiders get the next chance. Derek Carr just throws it up, kind of like a Hail Mary pass, game over. But what did y'all see from this game? What did y'all see from the Chiefs? What did y'all see from the Raiders? Did y'all think that ball was in? Would y'all have called that incomplete, Dasani?
No, I wouldn't have called it incomplete. I thought he had enough possession on it. I thought he came down with 2 feet, and I thought it was a catch, but obviously they ruled it differently.
See, to me it looked like he had it, he dropped it, he had it again, and then stepped out of bounds. But how'd you see it, Lamar?
Like I thought it was a really close call. It was a really close call for the referees, but I feel like it was the right call, to be honest. Like if I really had to really dissect it and pinpoint the call, I feel like it was the right call because like you say, he bobbled it. But when he really had full possession, like when he really grasped the ball, you could see he kind of like only tiptoed 1 foot in bounds. But Devontae Adams, knowing how much of a savvy veteran he is, just knowingly, I feel like he should have just like dragged his feet instead of try to tiptoe. I feel like he was more focusing on his feet. That's probably why he kind of bobbled the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
But I feel like he would have dragged it on some Antonio Browns, you feel me, type shit. I feel like that would have been a first down. They wouldn't even have to worry about that.
Exactly. He should have
Yeah.
had ball first, two hands on the ball, made sure both of his feet was in bounds, and then moved on to the next. But when I was looking at the Raiders defense, they end up letting Kelsey go crazy. 4 touchdowns, 7 receptions on 4 touchdowns for only 25 yards. Like, and he was really just the end zone threat if you think about it. All throughout the game, he wasn't doing nothing crazy. It was mostly Pat Mahomes being Pat Mahomes. But in the end zone, it's like, how do you not guard the best player? You know you got to guard this specific player. They don't really have too many weapons. Like they have weapons, but they lost their main guy. They lost Tyreek Hill. So you know the ball's
Yeah.
most likely going to Kelsey. I don't give a fuck if you got to triple team him. He's still going to throw it to Kelsey because he believes in Kelsey. Instead, you somehow allow him to be wide open. Not one time, not 2 times, not 3 times, but 4 fucking times, man. I guess you could say 3. On the 4th one, he made a crazy play. You know, he did stiff arm, another stiff arm, and then touchdown. But what was y'all seeing from the Raiders defense? What was it players? Was it assignments? Should the coaching have adjusted better? What was y'all seeing?
I mean, I think Jayon Brown, our linebacker, the one that was supposed to be out there covering and wasn't playing, but I think Merrick was doing good like all the way up until we would get to like the red zone. He wasn't guarding him every one of those touchdowns, but he did give up a touchdown. But I think that it was just bad on the players. They just like once Kelsey got like because he got ownage on us. So the fact that he got ownage on us, he can do whatever he wants to us every time. We can't stop him. We ain't
How
got
what
we ain't got them dogs like the Niners.
and what you see Lamar? Why was Kelsey getting open every single play? Because I felt like at some point the defensive coach you gotta make an adjustment. You gotta double team them. They tried double teaming them. Even the double team wasn't working because they were putting defensive linemen that are trying to guard Kelsey. Why are you having these fat ass dudes trying to guard an all pro tight end?
Yeah,
No, yeah, I would agree. I would agree with Dasani was saying too. I feel like definitely on the players. I feel like the coaches they put together a really good game plan. I mean, like we watched in the first half, 17-0. They jumped out to a big lead. They obviously was doing a really good job containing Kelsey in the very beginning. So I feel like
yeah,
the coaches knew how to contain them, but the Chiefs made some adjustments. But I feel like at some point it's the players. You got to go out there and you got to go out there and perform. Like you gotta have that football IQ. I feel like that's what a lot of these football players are missing. Football IQ, especially on defense. Like you watch film, Kelce is a red zone threat. And also too, like maybe even shit, like I hope the Raiders, can, bounce back from these 4 losses. But shit, going into next season, you like Dasani said earlier, Travis Kelce has been killing you guys for years. You have to draft someone like a linebacker that's that can cover tight ends. You got to draft somebody like that.
You got that in your. You got Williams. You got tight end. You got tight end in every team in your division. You gotta draft for what you got to play the most, or especially what's involving in the league. This is not just the Chiefs. This is literally every team is looking for a tight end now. That's kind of like the key skill position nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. But specifically, just the Chiefs. Like the Chiefs are most likely the team to beat in your division now. Yeah. And like you said, Travis Kelce kills you guys, whether it's in Kansas City or whether it's in Las Vegas. Like you guys got to draft somebody to guard this dude because this dude is a fucking problem.
And then I want to talk about some positives with the Raiders. What did y'all see? It wasn't many positives, or it kind of was. It was a lot of positives. Derek Carr played good. Devontae played good. It was just key situations that really fucked the Raiders up most. But my biggest takeaway from this game is straight Josh Jacobs, just on the ball, straight feeding him, eating. He's playing like he has something to prove. He's playing like he wants that contract. They mentioned it during the game. This new coaching staff, this new staff as a whole, they didn't want to just give him the contract. They haven't seen enough. They haven't seen enough practice from him. They haven't been around him. So of course, while you just meeting this guy, same thing with a couple other players from the Raiders. Why would I just give you this contract? But what else did y'all see positive from the Raiders besides from just the run game?
I like the outside of the run game, I like that connection that Derek Carr and Devontae had, because for the last I'll say 2 to 3 weeks they kind of fell off and that connection wasn't there, and so it was good to see them reestablish that connection. But I like the way how Carr played. He played aggressive and made the throws that he needed to.
How about you? What'd you see positive, Lamar? I would agree with Dasani as well. I feel like Derek Carr and Davante Adams played really well together tonight. But one thing that I definitely want to point out is the offensive line played really well, in my opinion. They was being some dogs tonight. They knew this was a big divisional game. Sad they let it slip away a little bit. It's not all on the offensive line or one positional group. But offensive line played really well, to be honest, in my opinion. Especially like you said, Josh Jacobs, he couldn't do shit without the offensive line. But also too, I want to shout out the fullback. I forgot his damn name, but that fool was making some cool little blocks.
Jacob Johnson.
Yeah, I forgot his name, but he was making some good little blocks and opened up some holes for Josh Jacobs. But Josh Jacobs was running fucking hard tonight, and I feel like knowing how explosive Josh Jacobs is, I feel like it was a couple of runs he probably maybe could have scored on, just knowing the type of explosive running back he is. But he was running physical, like Darren, you said. I agree. Like he was running like he had something to prove. I know he's in a contract year. In my opinion, no matter where he goes, I feel like he's definitely a top 5 free agent running back coming up this offseason. So hopefully the Raiders keep him around, hopefully.
And then we seen in this game, we seen it yesterday with Tom Brady. Bullshit, just straight bullshit ass tackles. It was clearly a sack. And then today, it's a major key part of the game. You're about to get the ball back. You're about to get the Raiders off field. And they call a roughing the passer on a strip sack. You hear the crowd literally complaining, screaming bullshit for a good 5 to 10 minutes. They wouldn't even let the ref. They wouldn't let the ref breathe. You could hear it all over the loud comms. You could hear it all over the stadium. So what are y'all thinking? Was that a flag? Should that have been a foul? To me, it's looking like a soft ass tackle. You can't even hit the quarterback no more. You kiss them, they gonna call you for sexual harassment, bro. It's like you can't even touch them. So how y'all feeling about it? Sonny, you want to start it?
No, I think as a Raider fan, I think it was bullcrap. I think that was nowhere close to no roughing the passer. Even though I've seen it a lot. It doesn't happen every week, but I've seen it a lot enough for it to happen. But I don't think that was a roughing the passer. I think that was bullcrap. We got bailed out on that one. I'm not gonna lie.
See, yeah, you said it happens every week, but to me, it's been happening a lot more since Tua, because I feel like they always been a little tic-tac, a little soft, but these is literally grade A tackles. I just came out of high school football not too long ago. They was teaching me aim for the hip roll. Okay, strip sack. Once you strip him, that ball is a loose ball. He's not considered a quarterback anymore. That's a free ball. He's considered every man's for himself. So that ball should be free. It should be no flag. He was literally landed. He was trying to land on the ball. It was no. He wasn't even trying to he wasn't worried about Carr. Carr was like, Carr, what the fuck you doing? Like, get out the way, man. I'm going for the ball. I'm not even worried about you, but you're gonna call a flag as if he was being malicious or trying to hurt the quarterback.
Yeah,
It's got to be some more responsibility from the refs. Like, you can tell when a player's trying to hurt somebody or when he's being reckless and when he's just making a great football play, having rolls and titties. You got to understand this man is not 200 straight trimmed up buff. He's gonna make the play at the best of his ability. But how did you feel about it, Lamar?
No, yeah, I thought it was a horrible call. Same thing with the call yesterday with Grady Jarrett when he kind of slung down Tom Brady. These calls are impacting the result of the game. And that call tonight was definitely bullshit. Like you said, he wasn't even worried about Derek Carr. Once he got the strip, obviously as a defensive player, especially as a defensive lineman, when you strip the ball out. So when he stripped the ball, he's like, oh shit. Like, he had the awareness, like, oh, I'm trying to get this ball.
Ball.
Yeah, exactly. At that point, and that's what threw me off too. I'm like, damn, they caught roughing the passer. Like, the ball was stripped before he even fell on Derek Carr. So that call should have been already just, taken off. Like, that should have been not even I don't know what these referees are thinking, but to be honest, I think they need to go back to the drawing board and have a meeting with the officials or whoever the head of this is, because
start finding them boys.
Yeah, start finding them, do something, because this is getting out of hand. We've been we've been talking about this for too long. This is crazy. These referees need to be held accountable.
I shouldn't talk about the ref after a game. Why the hell do I even know your name, buddy? Why do I know your name? But would you say that it's because of Tua's situation that they're starting to be a little bit more tougher? Because I feel like ever since that happened, nobody wants to see that. That was a scary play. I never seen nothing like it. So I feel like they don't want it to happen again. But at the same time, it's football, and it's not like Tua banged his head on that one time. Y'all acting like it was a back injury the first time. We all know what it was. That was 2 concussions back-to-back weeks. I feel like that played a bigger part than just that one hit. So what are y'all feeling? Let's go with you, Lamar, first. Are you feeling like it's because of Tua's situation that they're changing these rules for the quarterback even softer?
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like to be honest, in the past, I feel like they've been put a big emphasis on especially quarterback safety in the pocket, because and the quarterback defense too. They're kind of standing still. They're not running. They're not going head up with you. They're kind of standing still. Even when they throw the ball, sometimes they get hit in the face and get thrown down. So I get it, they can, I get it. But at some point too, it's bro, how else are these defensive players supposed to sack the quarterback? And you
got to just start squeezing the tushy, man.
Exactly, bro. You see quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray who can spin out of those little arm tackles and shit. So it's bro, with those players, you got to tackle them to the ground, especially Jalen Hurts who squat 400 pounds, you gotta really wrap this dude up and take him to the ground, because he's not gonna these players are athletic. These players are trying to make plays. These players, some of these quarterbacks, such as a Jimmy Garoppolo or a Derek Carr or a Tom Brady, who's not elusive, they gonna take the little sack or whatever. They're not gonna try to bounce out. Like that. So certain quarterbacks, I feel like they try to protect a little more than others. I don't know if you guys remember, but Cam Newton kind of pointed that out too. Just because I'm 6'5", 240, or maybe because I'm a black quarterback and I run. You guys feel like you feel like you can't protect me as much as well. So I feel like that got a little something to do with it too, because I feel like certain quarterbacks they kind of protect more than others, such as Tom Brady and Derek Carr, as we've seen over the weekend. So
yeah, kind of how they feel like with LeBron. LeBron kind of gets hacked all the time. They don't call no flag or nothing like that. Mm-hmm. But so with that flag. So let's go later in the game. So later in the game, the Raiders have a chance to tie this game, and instead of going for the field goal, they end up going for the 2-point conversion. And would y'all have said that was the right play in the game, especially since you're going against a Chiefs team that's crazy on offense? I feel more confident going in overtime, possibly getting the ball back, than giving the Chiefs the ball back. with barely any time left. You probably got like 3 minutes left, 4 minutes left in the game. I'm not giving the ball back to Mahomes down 29-30. But what would you guys have done it? Let's go to Sonny first. What would you change about that play?
I think we should have just kicked the field goal because I think if we had just went into overtime and if we had lost, we lost. If we had won, we won. Either way, I would have felt more comfortable about going into overtime knowing that we tied the game up and we had a chance to go win. And instead, now we got to go back and think about that loss and what we could have done better. So I think we should have just kicked the field goal and felt better about going into overtime and try to go for the win.
Especially in the division that they're in. You got the Broncos, You got the Chiefs, you got the Chargers. Each and every one of these teams are still a threat. We know the Broncos are not looking good, but I really feel like the Broncos are so bad, but they're also just a flick. If they get that flick to switch, then the Broncos be like, watch out, they coming. So every win right now matters in the division. But Lamar, how do you feel like that the Raiders should have handled that? Was that the right call? Was going for that 2-point indeed the right call? Maybe that field goal was a better call. You maybe tried to push it to overtime.
I feel like at this point in the season, I feel like that was a bad call just because I feel like if it was like the first two, maybe three. I thought it was like the first 2 games of the season, like early in the season, then you can do stuff like that. But and depending on your record too. But you guys, Raiders are 1-4, and this is a division game. You gotta get this W. It's critical. You have to. And this is the number 1 team in your division at that, and you at their place. So you had that. This is a big W if you guys can get it. And they already blew a 17-0 lead. So I feel like they should have tried to tie the game. I feel like the coach Josh McDaniel. I feel like he should have had more confidence in his defense or even just in his team in overtime, like, get that touchdown because they could have, for all we know, they could have won a coin toss. They could have got the ball first and they could have drove down field quick and got a touchdown. Or like Darren was talking about earlier, Josh Jacobs is running the ball like crazy. So in overtime, they could have had the first possession. Josh Jacobs could have just been pounding the rock, touchdown, game over. So
exactly, we know how the momentum goes. If the game kind of tells you how the game's going to go. So I really felt like the Raiders would have probably got that ball back and at least had a chance to score. Maybe not a touchdown, but maybe a field goal. Maybe that game could have ended out a lot different and the Raiders could have got out with that win. But even in the game, did y'all see on that crossing route at the end of the game, what happened with that confusion with Devontae Adams was running straight for the tug, and then you see Renfrow running over on the crossing route, they bump into each other. Was that miscommunication by them two? Would that be coaching? Because I'm thinking it's the last play of the game, or maybe one of the most important plays of the game. You're going for a deep route when you really don't have to, but then you guys run into each other also, so it really kills the whole play. It kills the whole momentum. The next play, you're resting to a 4th down, and you just chuck some shit up for a prayer. But what did you see that happen in that play, Dasani?
Yeah, no, I think it was a little bit on Renfrow and more on the coaching. I think maybe Renfrow might have ran that route maybe he might have messed up on the route and ran it wrong. But I think that in that position, I don't know why McDaniels decided to even throw crossing routes. He could have done like a little screen pass or just handed the ball off or did something. I don't know why he did anything with crossing routes or where any players getting any close to each other. That was just stupid. But it's exactly what he's been doing all season. Stupid play calls.
At least go for the first down. It's no reason to go for no Hail Mary pass when you could literally hit an easy, quick. You got the best wide receiver in the game at doing quick double out route. Like any short yard route in the game, nobody's gonna stop Devontae. So why not do a quick in out, skirt, break an ankle or two, quick first down. Okay, get out of bounds. Devontae's he's a savvy veteran. He could get out of bounds. Okay, now let's see how we're gonna move the ball down the field the next play. But how'd you feel? How about you, Lamar?
No, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with both of y'all totally. I feel like what Dasani said too, they could have ran the ball for that little 1 yard, or they could have passed it. Even you pointed out, Devontae is one of the best receivers in the league, especially on them little short double routes. They could have ran a very quick. Devontae Adams is the best at running little 3-yard quick outs to get out of bounds. That's easy 3 yards. First down. First of all, they would have got a first down. Second of all, the clock would have been stopped. And they would have had a new opportunity to get, touchdown or think about the next play call. But then also too, you got to think about it too. Hunter Renfrow is also a great 2-yard, 3-yard guy too. He get the double moves on you. He's one of the best at that too in the league. So
Yeah, you got two guys that could do it.
Two guys that can do it. And then you call a play like shit. You call a play like that, and it's just like, and like it could have been a little miscommunication on both of them, but I felt like that was definitely play calling on the coaching staff. Right
Yeah, it had to be play. It's play calling on Renfro because I know it's damn sure it's not Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams knows Devontae Adams the best wide receiver in the game. He was running straight. It looked like Renfro just runs right into him. I'm like, damn, do you even look at him, man? But that was a tough play in the game. But moving on to some of the other games during the week, you had the Cardinals versus the Eagles. The Cardinals end up losing 20-17. And during this game, it came down to the end towards the wire. You had a third down. Kyler Murray slides right before the first down. So it ends up being a fourth down. And for some reason, I guess Cliff Kingsbury is telling Kyler Murray, spike the ball. And when it gets in the post game, they asked Kyler Murray, like, what exactly happened? What were you thinking? Why would you slide? Why would you not go for that first down? So why would you spike the ball, like, on a third down? But when they ask him about it, they're saying Cliff Kingsbury was telling him to spike it. I guess he didn't know it was a third down. He got lost in the downs. But what was going on? I felt like he kind of threw him under the bus. How did you guys feel about that, Lamar?
I feel like I don't really feel like he threw him under the bus. I feel like at that point he was just trying to, like, during the press conference, he was just trying to explain, the series of events that was going on at that moment. But Kyler Murray definitely, just knowing the type of quarterback he is, knowing I feel like at this point in his career he's a pretty savvy vet now. He has full control over that offense. Even though he had Cliff Kingsbury or he had whoever in his headset saying spike. Yeah. I feel like as a quarterback, you're supposed to be aware of the down and distance. Maybe he did think it was a first down, but like you said, and like Ryan Clark said earlier, you have the chain. I mean, you have the down marker over there. You're supposed to look over. If you see in his third down, all right, come on, let's go. Let's do a QB sneak real quick. Like, simple as that. Like, come on, y'all. Like, or shit. If you don't think this is try to Cliff Kingsbury could have been smart enough to try to haggle the ref or nag the ref, like, hey, like, let's get a review. I think this is a first down. Because that could have easily been reviewed, to be honest. Like, shit, that could have been the first down. It could have been a third down. So
if they're paying you that much money, they literally, it's crazy because they had to give them a little, send them to watch film. I'm like, and I guess you should really know that. If you really been watching all that film, you should be knowing what to do in game situation. You should not be sliding. If you see that first down markers there, you got to do anything and everything to get that first down. Do not slide with your feet first, because as soon as you say you're giving yourself up, you're down. So you're down right there. So dive straight forward, put that ball out. Okay, get down. Now spike it. Now it's a second down. You could regroup. You got a second down. You just go. You and Cliff figure out what you guys want to do. Do you want to go for it? So you just got a kicker in his first week. You just signed him straight off the street. He never has kicked before with your team. He was literally like a Kansas City's chief like a week or two ago. So you literally got to put him in the best situation possible, and you didn't. You gave him a hard-ass kick, and then you want to blame it on, okay, the coach told me to spike it. You got to know that you got a kicker that has low confidence, that you can't put a lot of trust in. Let's try our best to get you in the best situation as possible, so at least we give you a better opportunity than a 40-yard kick. I know 40 yards is not a lot, but if you're getting a kicker off the streets in this time, clearly you're not about to get a Justin Tucker. Clearly 40 yards is probably still questionable for them. But how'd you feel about it? Lamar, you think that he should have got him a little closer, though, even though we discussed that? Do you think he could have got him closer, or do you think that he slid because he had to?
So that's funny that you mentioned that. So I was thinking about it two different ways. So I was like, damn, if, just say he did what he did, turn out, but what if the kicker did make the field goal? We probably wouldn't have really been talking about this. But then also, too, you got to think about, he could have slid head first, but when I remember to play correctly, our safety was coming down flying.
Yeah, he was coming down fast. He was coming down fast. I was like, damn.
Yeah. And I feel like even the defense or maybe even safety probably thought too, like, oh, maybe Kyler gonna try to go head up, or maybe Kyler gonna try to go head first or dive or do something crazy, because Kyler is Kyler. He can and fuck around and score. You feel me? And we didn't seen it, already. But shit, like that's what I'm saying. We probably been talking about it differently. What if Kyler would have dove head first and got concussed right there? Then everybody was like, damn, he shouldn't have.
Hey, who would have said he cared? Because right now they're trying to say that he doesn't care.
Exactly.
They're trying to say that he doesn't care.
He could have risked a concussion for the win. So
that's what you sign up for though when you get 200 or something million.
Yeah.
When you get 200 something million as a quarterback, you're signing your life over that. I'm gonna do anything and everything to help this team. And I really feel like it would have been a scary play, but he could have easily turned over to the side. He would have took a big hit, but if you want that win, or do you not want that win? Because it's going to be even worse for you when you just got that fat contract and your team is not in the playoffs come in a couple months. That's going to feel a lot worse than, I don't want to say, of course, put your body first. Put your body first always. But, you're also a football player. You got to remember that. I know you're a quarterback. I know you're small, but you're a football player.
Yeah, that'd be way better once D-Hop come back. Hopefully it's not shit. Hopefully they get maybe 1 or 2 more wins before he come back, so they really won't be out the playoff hunt. They're not like the worst team in the NFL. It's still pretty early, but once D-Hop come back, once they get their offense together, I feel like obviously once D-Hop come back, it's going to open up the game more for Marquise Brown. I feel like they're teams are kind of targeting Marquise Brown. Okay, he's the number 1 receiver on the team. But yeah, once they get their other option back in, you got AJ Green still there too. So once AJ Green get a little more healthy, you got D-Hop coming back, and you got Marquise Brown. It should be fine. And then Connor, once he lives up to what he's supposed to do, maybe that'd be good.
Yeah, I said the same thing. Once Hopkins comes in, they should start grooving. Though it should be a lot smoother. But I also said I don't truly believe in not just Kyler, but also Cliff. Like, I don't feel like them two as a duo could go out and win a Super Bowl. I feel like they can make some big noise during the regular season and maybe knock some teams out the playoffs. But when it comes to making a real playoff push, I don't feel like they got that dog in them. No, they always kind of been a soft, like they said when they played the Rams, they got smacked in their. But when it comes to like we're gonna put that rock on you, put this on you, like. I don't believe in Kyler. I don't believe in Cliff. I don't feel like they strategize. I don't feel like they change their game plan enough to keep competing for later downs in the quarter or later drives during the game. But let's move on to the next. So it was reported by Ian Rappaport today. Panthers are fired head coach Matt Rule, who has gone 11-27 during the 3 seasons in Carolina. Rule leaves Carolina with 4 years left on a 7-year contract he received from the Panthers owner David Tepper in January 22. And this deal, if I remember, I want to say it was like 60 mil. It was something fat. And it was said that they're going to come out to a settlement. So basically, whatever team that he goes to next, they're going to pay him, and the Carolina is going to pay him also. But it's rumored that he's going to have a job in college football. So I'm not really sure how they're going to do that, how that's going to work out. But my question for you, Lamar, is do you think that Baker was the problem or Rule was the problem?
I think it was a little bit of both. I think Baker, just to speak on Baker first, to point out, he was with Cleveland first. He got, Hugh Jackson fired. Not to say he got him fired, but Hugh Jackson was fired while he was there. And then Freddie Hitchens, who took over, and then it's crazy because Freddie Hitchens, when he took over for Hugh Jackson as an interim head coach, Baker was playing pretty well. So that's when they kept Freddie Hitchens, but it didn't work out the next season. So then Freddie Hitchens was fired, and then they traded Baker when they got Deshaun, and now Matt Rule is fired. So it looks bad on Baker just because it's like you mentioned earlier, it's like you having a girl that might have dated 3 guys and they all dumped her, and it's like, damn, it got to be for a reason, that these 3 guys dumped this girl that we all thought was a good girl, but it got to be something. It got to be is obviously Baker, but also too, I feel like Matt Rule, like you said, he was 11-27 in like 3 seasons, and it's horrible. That's a horrible record in the NFL. I don't know. Like you said, maybe he's a better college coach than an NFL coach. He did really well in college. He was really well at Temple. He did really well at Baylor, but it's just not transitioning that well in the NFL. I don't know what it is. He went through like 5 quarterbacks already, but I don't know.
Yeah, and when I look at Rule, I don't see him as a leader of men. I don't really like his offense. I don't like it just wasn't he's not a good NFL head coach to me. But when it comes to Baker, I also put a lot of blame on Baker because Baker is making bad decisions. He's getting himself hurt. He's putting his team at risk. He threw a pick six. He overthrew it when like you have a wide open CMC and you overthrow it. You're always putting your team at risk. He ends up getting hurt on that play because he has to make a tackle. So you're over here putting yourself at risk in certain situations that you shouldn't have to. And like I said, I feel like Baker is when he never wants to put the blame on himself. He's always deflecting the blame, putting it on other people. Baker always feels like he's perfect. No one else is blamed ever since the Heisman. He always feels like he's the underdog. And when the GM fires the head coach, he's proven that he's showing Baker that he's exactly right. He's the Baker, you're the puppy. Everyone else is always wrong. You're always right. You deserve all the kisses and hugs. Oh, if he's bullying you, he's bothering you. Even though he's just being honest with you, let's say someone's being honest with you. Okay, he's the bad guy. Either way it goes, you're always right. And by them firing the head coach, I feel like that proves Baker's point. It's still showing that Baker's always right. Baker's always, no one else is in the wrong. Baker's always in the right. Baker's the future, and basically, Rule go get a new job, you know. But lastly, let's talk about these Green Bay Packers. So the Green Bay Packers were up 20-10 against the New York Giants, and they give up a lead. We've seen the Giants this year. The Giants are a whole new different team. We've seen them in previous years, and the Giants, they kind of flipped their whole franchise around. Even with the New York Jets, it's like the New York team should have something to be excited about right now. But in this game, it came down to the final moments, and the Giants were up by 5, 22-27. You got a chance. You're at 3rd and 2 in your own 10-yard line. You could get the first down. You're on a 3rd and 2. And instead of handing the ball off to Jones or Dillon, you decide to go for a pass. And that's deflected, the first one towards the left. And then you try to go for another one on the right side. That gets deflected. So now instead of running the ball, you just lost the game to the Giants. And after the game, they asked Jones if did he feel like that they should hand him the ball, or maybe giving him or Dillon the ball in this situation. He said, I'll put my money on it. I'll put my money on giving me or Dillon or AJ Dillon the ball on 2 downs to get 2 yards. I put my money on it. But at the same time, I'm not the quarterback, so I don't know if A-Rod is seeing. I don't know what A-Rod's seeing. So my question to you, Lamar, is it kind of felt like to me that he threw Rodgers under the bus. He felt like that he should have handed him the ball or AJ Dillon the ball. He's kind of like, you're not trusting your quarterback, or you're not trusting the coach, and what are you not putting your trust in? But how did you feel about that, Lamar?
Yeah, I feel like right there, maybe Matt LaFleur had a little to do with it, but not too much. I feel like Aaron Rodgers at this point in his career, like he's a Hall of Famer. I feel like he is a coach on the field, especially in those moments, those critical moments for you to kind of make that, that decision very quickly. I feel like you said, Aaron Rodgers is supposed to have that confidence in his 2 running backs, Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, especially AJ Dillon, knowing you got to have the IQ to know that we have AJ Dillon, one of probably the best short yard running backs in the league. Like, get this man the ball. He's a bowling ball. Get this man the ball. He can pick up 1 or 2 yards. Even if Aaron Jones is in the game, I'm pretty sure Aaron Jones can pick up 1 or 2 yards. Like, this guy, you got one of the best duo of running backs in the NFL. And it's funny because it's pretty funny just because for a long time the Green Bay Packers didn't really have a running game for a long time. Yeah. So now that they have a running game, it's like, damn, you guys are not utilizing it. And I've seen they had a stat where I think they only rushed the ball 18 times, and I think Aaron Rodgers threw the ball about 40 to 50 times this past game. And it's just like, damn, A-Rod, I understand you're a Hall of Famer, but this guy is older. You guys got 2 running backs. Try to balance out the damn attack,
And it looked like it was a lot of discommunication with LaFleur and Rodgers. It looked like, I feel like things are just starting to break down. Things are starting to crumble, and it really all starting with trading Devontae Adams. You're starting to figure out it's no way that Randall Cobb, he was your number 1 receiver like 8 years ago. There's no way that he should still be your number 1 wide receiver. But I feel like as a running back, Aaron Jones, he probably shouldn't have said that. He probably should have kept that to himself. I know he was. I thought Aaron Rodgers done a lot for him in his career. But Dasani, how'd you feel about it?
No, I thought that the Packers should have ran the ball, should have just pounded that rock with AJ Dillon. I mean, I think if you have a Devontae there, easily you could throw it. it would have been a good decision. But because you ain't got that kind of guy, I think it was a bad decision to throw. You should have just ran it.
Yeah, I don't feel like AJ Dillon's. There's no way AJ Dillon is getting stopped at the 1, the 2. He's just a complete bowling ball. But
Yeah.
and then Alexander, he was asked in the locker room. Y'all know the corner. Shair Alexander, right? That's Shair Alexander. So
Yeah.
Alexander was asked if he felt like that it should be a panic mode basically after this loss, and he said basically if they lose the next one, then we should be in panic mode. And then the same reporter that asked him goes to Aaron Rodgers and asks Aaron Rodgers. So Alexander said if you guys lose one more, that they'll be in panic mode. And basically Aaron Rodgers said if you shouldn't speak like that into existence. And I love Alexander. He's my guy, but I'm going to have a talk like that's not supposed to happen inside the locker room. And how did you feel about that? Would you guys have a problem with Alexander was saying something like that?
Publicly, I would say just a little bit. I mean, some people are just media friendly and they just, they personality just kind of comes out. Maybe that's just what he was thinking at the time. Yeah. But I would be happy just knowing that you have your star players just aware, like, okay, we need to fucking get it together because our next 2 losses, we gonna be in fucking trouble. And Green Bay Packers, they're held to a higher standard than any other majority of any other teams in the NFL, just based on their personnel. Based on their achievements, their history, their personnel they have, and they have Aaron Rodgers, who's like top 3 quarterback in the NFL right now. So
1 Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. 1 Super Bowl. But other than that 1 Super Bowl, just based off pure talent, Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks that the world has ever seen.
Probably the greatest.
Yeah, might be one of the greatest talented quarterbacks that we've ever seen. So, I get it. I mean, I would be happy to know that our players are aware of the situation. But then again, like Aaron Rodgers said too, I wouldn't really want that coming out publicly.
What if y'all do lose? Now it's like, well, Shair, he just said we in trouble. like shit, it's not looking good. Basically, Alexander felt like it's time to it's over with if we lose one more. And so how'd you feel about that? Did you feel like that should have been made public? Maybe Alexander should have kept that to himself?
Yeah, no, I think he should have just kept it to himself. I think that's how you ruin that camaraderie that you got going on in the locker room, especially when you win it. I think it can mess everything up. So I think it was I don't think he should have said that in front of everybody. He should have just kept that to himself.
Yeah, we know how Rodgers is. He, like he said, he's a big believer in what you say comes into existence. He takes psychedelics. So, this man is like, he might have that into a dream. And if they ever lose, he going to be like, fucking Alexander, man. I told that motherfucker not to say that. That's how I feel about Rodgers. He's real spiritual. He's real in touch with himself. But we're going to see how this season plays out. It was a great week of football. I can't wait until this next week. Who we got on Thursday? Who is it? Who's the Thursday night game?
Thursday night game. I'm looking at the Thursday night game. I forgot, but one of the games to point out, which I believe is going to be the biggest game of the weekend next week, is going to be a Cowboys Eagles. Big divisional matchup.
Sure.
Yeah, big divisional matchup.
Huh? Yeah, that's Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, Sunday Night Football, big matchup, primetime game. Both teams are one of the best teams in all of the NFL. It's just quite coincidental that we was the NFC least last year. Now the NFC East division in football. So
it's still up for debate if that's the NFC least. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't know. The Giants is 4-1, Cowboys is 4-1, Eagles is 5-0. The Commanders, they sneak up on you from time to time, but
the Giants. The Giants proved themselves. Each one of them teams proved themselves. There's no way they're the EFC or NFC East or least, but they still could be the NFC mid. We ain't know yet. They ain't playing.
That was a good segue too, because like you said, Thursday night game is Commanders Bears. So they got a primetime game coming up on Thursday, and we're gonna see what these Commanders gonna do. So I'm actually rooting for the Commanders just so they can kind of represent the NFC East a little bit. And you mentioned earlier that the Eagles didn't play nobody, so we're gonna see Commanders kind of do their thing.
And before we get out of here, you just reminded me of something I literally just seen before I hopped on this live. So I seen it was Ron Rivera. He said he asked the question, what separates good teams from basically Washington, and he said quarterback. He said good quarterbacks. He said you see the quarterbacks around the league like Pat Mahomes and Tom Brady's, Aaron Rodgers. That would he said it like smart. That's what makes the difference. So I feel like you just threw your quarterback under the bus in a way. It's like, man, that's your quarterback, and you basically saying that he's not one of them, and he's the reason y'all losing. How'd you feel about that, Dasani? How'd you feel about that quote?
Hey, I mean, he ain't lying though. I mean, there ain't no way you can't like. I feel bad for him because like the fact that he's stuck with Carson Wentz. Like, I mean, I would have said the same thing too. I mean, Carson Wentz is dog crap. Like, it's I don't know. I feel like I would have said the same thing too.
You could debate though that what has Ron Rivera really done? You could debate he ain't really done shit. He took the Panthers to the Super Bowl and then he got scraped by the Broncos. Like, oh no, wait, was that Seattle? No, Broncos. Yeah, that was Broncos. Yeah, Broncos.
Seattle got scraped by the Broncos.
Yeah, Seattle got scraped by the Broncos. So the Broncos.
The Broncos got scraped by Seattle when they had Percy Harvin. Go ahead on that.
But yeah, okay, yeah. So how you feel about that, little Lamar? I feel like that was an unnecessary shot towards your quarterback. It's like you ain't really done shit either. You ain't going. How many Super Bowls you got? Carson Wentz got more Super Bowls, I'm pretty sure, than you do.
I mean, and to be honest, in Ron Rivera's defense, that's one of my favorite head coaches in the league. Maybe a little bit.
Okay, so you gonna show a little bias towards him?
A little bias because he's minority quarterback. I liked when he was with Cam Newton, but I feel like he's a great head coach. He's a former player. He's a player's coach. He's a defensive guy. He has great defensive schemes. I feel like wherever he's been at, his defense has always been pretty well. It's kind of like despite this year. If you think about last season, they went to was it 2 years ago? They went to the playoffs. They had Chase Young. They had the defense players, just
and they lost to Tom.
They lost to Tom. And like you said, like Dasani said, it's unfortunate he got stuck with Carson Wentz this season. I was surprised when they went up and picked him up for as much money as they went to go get him for. But to be honest, I feel like they lose their next game, like they lose this next primetime game. Just knowing how the Commanders, how their organization is, they might start tanking a little bit. Fuck it, I would bench Carson Wentz and I'll put Taylor Heinicke in, see what Heinicke can do. Heinicke, he's a baller. He balled out against Brady in the playoffs. I'll put Heinicke in. Let's see what he can do.
I feel like Heinicke's got good amount. I remember I first said that when they put him in, they took him out. But then I feel like he got another chance and they put him in. It's like he shows flashes, but every backup quarterback shows flashes. That's why they're in the NFL. So I just feel like he's had opportunities and he hasn't put up a consistent level of play. He's had a fair amount of chances. His real only good season was against that great year that they ended up making it to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. No shot at any other backup quarterback. But I feel like he's one of the better. I'd rather have Taylor Heinicke as my backup than Cooper Rush, in my opinion. I don't know, but
I'd rather have what's his name from the Ravens. I'd rather have
Tyler Huntley.
Tyler Huntley than him. I'll make that trade for Huntley right now. I feel like a lot of teams are sleep on Huntley. I even made a video. I said I would probably take Huntley in the long run over Lamar, me personally. But that was before this. I feel like Huntley has a lot of potential. He could move just pretty similar to Lamar, and he has a better arm than Lamar. I feel like over time, if you really put that work in him, then it's worth the chance. It's worth the chance.
I would agree. It's funny that you say that because I feel like I don't know why a lot of teams don't do this. Like if they like the quarterback is not performing well, go out and get a quarterback that you didn't seen ball out like legit. Like I know exactly what you're talking about. Ty Huntley last season when Lamar got hurt, that fool played out of his fucking mind.
Out of his mind, man. He had some bad games, but wasn't his rookie year?
Yeah, I think it was like his rookie year or his first
year.
Yeah. You gotta think about it. He's like 3 years in the league now. He's played under Lamar Jackson. Like you say, he plays just like Lamar Jackson. So as an NFL team, like I would invest in him. Like, damn, this is baby Lamar Jackson. Maybe he might be better than Lamar Jackson. So
exactly, you get him in the right system. I really feel like and I feel like that's kind of why the Ravens are kind of holding off paying Lamar. It could be something there. I really would trade Lamar for. All right, if you really not sold on him, because I really like Lamar's a great quarterback. I love him in the regular season, but when it comes to playoffs, I'm real skeptical if he's gonna be able to make them big throws in the big moments. I'm really not sold on him. So why not? I've seen a lot from Huntley. Maybe trade Lamar, getting some even draft pieces. You can get some crazy draft capital. You might be able to get some solid players. Give Huntley a chance. Why not? That's how I think about it.
I can't. Not to say it's not possible or it can't happen, but that's insane. I mean, obviously at this point they haven't paid him yet, so everybody's kind of wondering, like, damn, like what is going to happen with the Lamar Jackson situation? But just based on how he's been playing over like since the season started, out of him and Jalen Hurts, I feel like these are the two MVPs right now of the NFL.
Yeah, that's the hard part. But that's what I said. He's won an MVP before, and I had that opinion on, and I still had this opinion on him. So I really feel like he's a great regular season quarterback. But when it comes to the playoffs, I get a little skeptical when I think about him.
Yeah, but if you think about it, he ain't really had no receivers like that though. Like, don't get me wrong, Marquise Brown is a great receiver, but it's like he doesn't have a D-Hop. He don't have a
but you got speaking of it right now. You just seen Kyler Murray play. How do you think that Kyler Murray's his connection is better with Marquise Brown? Would you say Lamar was better with him? Because I feel like Lamar was missing. I feel like Lamar had Marquise on pulling their opportunities. Even his last game, he overthrew a lot of targets wide open.
Yeah, I just feel like, I don't know, it's just like the connection. Like maybe they got to go out and get like a real number one receiver. Don't get me wrong, Rashad Bateman, number 7, he is nice. He's nice. But I'm not sure if he's like that number one. I feel like kind of like similar to the Eagles, how we went out and got AJ Brown. I feel like a lot of teams need to go do that. They need to go get that big receiver that can run those little 10-yard hitches and can carry, get that first down. And then you got your other receiver at number 2 is to stretch the field.
We got Salva. They named Salva Troach. They said Trey Waller's bum ass. Carr 9 years, please, bitch. Josh McD, laugh out loud. Enough said. Adams about to be the new AB. Over. They say he about to be the new AB over that shit. Why? Because he fucked up. The cameraman. Look, and that's my problem with these cameramen. Sometimes, like you see, like TMZ reporters. Why the fuck is you all up in his face? Like, I remember I had a rival game in Homestead. The first motherfucker I see when I walk out the building is my cousin. Her ass gonna say, "How does it feel to lose to Homestead?" I said, "What the fuck, bro?" I lost my shit, bro. I cursed her out. I love her to death, but like I felt like this is my team. Like this is like my heart. I'm putting a lot of heart in this, and you come in and you say some real disrespectful, like you might not feel like it is because you're not in the game, you're not in the football world. But you don't say how does it feel to lose to a team when they just beat you, especially your rival. And that's how it feels. You go against Pat Mahomes, you go against the rival team, you're in a great position, and then you got fucking TMZ motherfuckers that was recording Draymond Green. You got motherfucker from Maury chasing you down, baby daddy type shit, all up in Devontae Adams' face when he's just trying to walk to the locker room. Move, bitch, get out the way. Like that's how, and that's why he was on the floor. So I don't want to hear about no lawsuits. I don't want to hear about no complaints. Fuck all that. That's how
it's coming.
That's how I feel.
Oh yeah, it's gonna come just because
it's pronounced Salva Troach, I think. Like Mara. So I ain't gonna gang shit, man. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Gang shit though. Whatever you talking about. I'll fuck with you, though, Salva. I'll fuck with you. But last thing I want to speak about is I seen it earlier today. You got Christian McCaffrey. So the Panthers are looking like they're not in playoff position. It looks like Baker just got hurt. You got your backup quarterback. You got Sam Darnold hurt. You got PJ. What'd you say his name? PJ, not Washington. PJ Walker. He just came from like the AFL Canada League or whatever. So basically, that's all you got left, and you asking him to come in and lead your team, take them to the playoffs. So it's kind of looking like their season's pretty much coming towards the end. But if you were the Bills or if you were the Panthers thinking about it right now, would you make that trade? Would you give up CMC and trade him to the Bills?
I would, because like I said, they definitely not winning. Like the Panthers season, it's a wrap. They ain't got the quarterback. They ain't got the team. Even with whoever that bum is, PJ Walker, whatever his name is, like that ain't gonna cut it. Like So if I was the Panthers, I'd hit up the Bills and see what they could do for CMC. But if the Bills get CMC, it's wraps. They winning the ball.
Okay, if the Bills get CMC, they winning the ball. I love that take. If the Bills get CMC, they winning the ball.
They winning the ball.
I'm gonna answer your question right now, Salva. What you think about? What you think, Lamar?
So to be honest, like I feel like it's still really early in the season. I feel like these next two games is really going to determine whether they should move on from CMC. Maybe even this next game should determine it. I just seen that the Panthers play the Rams next. And like you said, PJ Walker's going to most likely probably start. Yeah. I mean, the Rams just came off a loss too, a tough loss. So I mean, I'm just saying,
a division rival against a solid defense. Oh no, they just lost against
the Cowboys. No,
they lost against the Cowboys. Man, they lost against Rex.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So they lost. They just lost against a backup quarterback. They just took a tough loss. So I mean, maybe the Panthers can try to do something. They are playing in LA, but I don't know. Like PJ Walker, I mean, he balled out in the AFL. That's the reason why he does have a job now in Carolina. Plus, Matt Rule was his old coach in college. But
this the NFL, Walker, baby. It's the NFL. Ain't no more Walker, boy. You better start running. Like, ain't no more PJ Walker, boy. You better turn on that treadmill. Get the moving.
For real, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what PJ Walker is going to do, or see what how the Panthers are going to respond to the firing of Matt Rule. It seems like a lot of teams they respond pretty well when they coach get fired mid-season. So we're gonna see how the Panthers respond. And it's funny just because we might have a different conversation next week. Saying how PJ Walker played pretty good. You never know. So
and Dasani, you know better than anybody because your team, like you're a Raider fan, so y'all got fired or you got switched coaches mid last season, and you guys adjusted pretty fair. To be honest, you guys didn't stick with the coach, but it was a great adjustment. The Raiders kept it moving. Offense looked good. It looked pretty much better than before Gruden got fired. But back to
bring him back.
I don't think they bring Gruden back. Fuck it.
No,
I forgive you. You know what?
The guy that took over.
Hey, even though you might have said something about me and my brother Lamar's skin color, we forgive you. We know you not. You know what? I gotta receive the receipts. I don't want to say too much about you, man.
No, it's funny as you said that. Because I actually really like John Gruden a lot too. Like even like after the shit happened, before the shit happened, I love the way he dissects the game. I love him as a coach. I fuck with him. He's a player.
I like him as like a TV. I like him on TV, but when it comes to in game, when it comes to nowadays, I feel like his offense was a little behind. It was a little old school. You know, it needed some whipped cream in there. It needed some caramel, man. You giving me dark chocolate. I need some flavor, man. Like I don't like that shit. But I want to look at right here. Salva True. I'm gonna get your name, man. I'm gonna get it. Follow my Instagram. I'm gonna get it. But Salva True, he said, what value does Waller have right now?
I mean, I feel like Waller has a huge value. Like you seen that the Raiders couldn't really do nothing in the red zone tonight. I feel like if they would have had Waller, they would have most likely won this game. You seen it was up 17-0. If Waller was there, he probably would have scored more points.
In the end zone, Darren Waller, I felt like Darren Waller would have been huge in the end zone. Big body. How tall is Darren Waller? Like 6'5", 6'4"?
6'6".
Yeah, 6'5".
6 with speed. Like you seen how the Chiefs was using Kelsey, using him as a straight end zone threat. He really didn't touch the ball much out of the end zone, and that's what I feel like. That's what they was missing towards. Yeah, like you said, like that's what they're kind of missing towards it. And then you would also like to see Renfrow getting in the mix. I feel like Renfrow was just out of the game. Like it was hard to even remember that Renfrow was playing. But like I said, I feel like Darren Waller holds a lot of value. It felt like this game showed his value even more. Show like that how big of a tight end is needed, especially in today's league. A tight end, in today's league, your tight end is your best friend. You could go to Gronk, you could go to Jimmy G and George Kittle, you could go to the list just goes on. Tight ends is your best friend.
Best tight end in the league.
But I love him. I love how he plays the ball. I know it's a little biased how you just said that, but I do agree. I love him also. He's a quick tight ends. Great hands. They could block. The hybrid tight end is what you need right now, and that's what you love. So, I agree. They said Gruden back. Hell no. We paying Wait, paying him without being on the field? Yeah, we still paying him without being on the field. That's the truth, man. And that's a fucked up ass deal that the Raiders end up getting themselves into. But you can't predict that. You can't predict that.
Same thing with the Panthers. They still got to pay Matt Rule, and he might get a job in college, so he's gonna get double the salary. Shit.
Hey, but at least with Matt Rule, it's like we know that he's going because he's ass. Like Gruden's bad because he's bringing bad press to the Raiders team once again. You know, and that's what kind of sucks. The Raiders has always been known for bad press. Ever since me and Asani was little kids, like the Raiders been in the bad press. First they was in Oakland, now they in Las Vegas. You know, it's a cycle, and I don't know what the Raiders got to do to break it, but they got to do something to break this cycle. I don't know if they did somebody dirty, but they got to go do something. Like they got to go speak to a fortune teller, like, you know, get the bad voodoo off them. Get the bad voodoo off them.
It just sucks because too, like those first round picks those 3 first round picks they had, they all haven't panned out. They got the defensive end 4th overall, Clelin Ferrell. He didn't pan out. And that was a surprise right there. They was like, damn, Clelin Ferrell drafting him 4th overall. What the hell? He wasn't even the best defensive player at Clemson at the time. And then they go out and get Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs get into some trouble. And then they went to get it was one more person that got in the first round. And he didn't. Oh, the cornerback from Ohio State. He was on bullshit. Yeah, he was on bullshit. So the Raiders got to make better decisions in the draft room too.
That's really what it is. It's like, man, y'all are skipping out on straight dogs, man. Like
y'all could have had DK Metcalf. You gotta think about that.
You could have had DK Metcalf. You could have had. Was y'all in that draft with Pat Mahomes, Sonny? I know we skipped out on Pat Mahomes and got Solomon Thomas.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I can't remember. I thought what draft was it that the Niners got one pick before the Raiders? It was off like a coin flip. I think the Raiders.
Oh, that was.
Was that Nick Bosa?
No, that was 2018.
Was that 2018?
But Mahomes got drafted in 2017.
Yeah, 17. So I'm tripping. But Waller got more injuries than bars. Okay, hey, get off Waller, man. He doing better, man. We can't do Waller like that. I know you're a Raider fan. I understand the frustration. It's well deserved. Get it off your chest. But Waller didn't do nothing wrong. Waller.
It's because we pay. It's because we paid him the big bucks, bro. That's why everybody tripping. If we didn't pay him so much money, nobody wouldn't really be saying shit.
Is this a Raiders channel? We do a little bit all NFL. We got Dasani's a Raider fan. I'm a Niner fan. Lamar is an Eagles fan. So we talk about all the NFL. But Salvo, tune into the next live, man. We've been on here for an hour. It's been a great live. We had a good time. Somebody else is adding on, but we getting out of here. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, bro. We dropping bangers. Lamar, hey, good shit, man. We had a good time with you, Dasani. Good shit. Raiders, turn it around. Eagles, let's go. Niners, let's go. NFL season, let's go. Get turned up. We out.